Ray Lewis. We had all of them here. Something about being out of intimacy is we like it, Emmitt. So we're excited. I know it's tight in here, but it'll be a fun day today. Emmitt's so nice to be here. He's going to share some great stories. And I will say this, there's not going to be any autographs, but I will say this, we're going to try to do pictures afterwards for sponsors and members first. And we're going to try to do as many as we can before we got to get Emmitt out of here. So just going to tell you, when we do those, it's going to be, hi, thank you, and then move on to get a chance to have a chance to take your picture with Emmitt. He's kind enough to have done that, to agree to do that, so we're excited to have him here. Coach Silverfield was great last week. Did you guys enjoy Coach Silverfield? Sellout crowd last week. Of course, they play this weekend and should get a win against North Alabama. Next week, Gus Malzahn next weekend. Looking forward to having him, his first speech since he retired as a head coach. Then after that, Lynn Swan. I saw Emmitt, a picture with you and Lynn. I know you guys are Gold Jacket guys, and looking forward to having Lynn here. Seems like a class act. Terry Bradshaw was here, did a great job, and really excited about him. Of course, the Bill Clinton, Jerry Jones meeting, we sold another section. Boom, gone. So if you've got some friends, just go to the lrtouchdown.com website or the Verizon Arena. It's only $25 at this point. You don't get lunch. The 1,400 seats on the floor are sold out. But I'm just telling you, it will be epic. So we'd love to have 2,000 or 3,000 folks there for that meeting. That's coming up October 12th. This time we want to bring up, we don't have a pigskin preacher here today, Chuck Monan. He's, I forget where he's at, the U.S. Open, I think, tennis tournament. So instead we have his backup, who's done this many a times. He's the leader of music, minister of music at Pinnacle Church of Christ. He's also with Sunstar Insurance. He has the best tan year-round of anybody on the planet. And he is a great guy and a great supporter. Please welcome, to give our prayer, Randy Allison, everybody.
Yeah, the pigskin sends his greetings from the U.S. Open in New York. That's where he is today. So you get the B team. I apologize for that, but we'll get through it today. Let's say a prayer to our Father in heaven. Our Father in heaven, we thank you so much for this another Monday at the Little Rock Touchdown Club, of fellowship, friendship, and a shared love of football and community. And we thank you today for honoring us with Emmitt Smith, who you have given so many remarkable talents and gifts to. His example of perseverance and discipline and a commitment to excellence. He has a career story that's inspired others, Father, and we pray that you'll provide him and his family with strength, health, and happiness. Bless our conversations and the memories we make today. I pray we all remember that true success in life is not measured by the scoreboard, but the lives we touch. We pray that you'll bless this food, nourish our bodies, and forgive us our sins. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thanks, Randy. Appreciate that. Thanks so much. Do you want to thank all of our members who have signed up? Our members who have signed up, both 50-yard line members, regular members, we appreciate you. Can't do it without you. We'll mention our sponsors here in just a second. I didn't get a chance to mention last week, if you're a founder going back to 22 years ago to 2004 or a current board member, let's stand up and let's give a round of applause to those folks. If you're a founder or board member going back, there's 3. Got a few wrecks, 4. There's not many of us. Emmitt, we started with 22 years ago, and so we've come a long way since then, but appreciate you guys. And I got a chance for Emmitt to take pictures with all of our trophies that we represent. He knows all those guys, all of those guys, and of course gold jackets for Cliff, Dan, and Willie, and of course Darren McFadden, College Football Hall of Famer, 2-time Heisman runner-up. Very proud of them, and thanked our sponsors last week for supporting us there. I do want to thank our sponsors today, starting off with Simmons Bank. Jay Brogdon is here on the head stage. We missed him last week, Jay. He's a new president, taking over for George Macris. We're excited about him. He's a basketball star at Harding University. He's going to be a great leader. Let's welcome him officially, Jay Brogdon, the president of Simmons Bank. Emmitt, you always hope when there's transition, the leadership continues to want to work with you, and we've had a good relationship with Simmons Bank for 10, 12 years, and of course Chris White is down there. Chris went down and got Emmitt today. We can't do some of the things we do without the help of Simmons and other folks, because you just can't get these folks in here without more support, and that means playing sometimes and special arrangements. So Chris, thanks so much. Jay, thanks for y'all's support. Simmons Bank, make sure and give them a chance for your business. Tell them that you're a member of the Touchdown Club. They'll appreciate that. $27 billion in assets. I know you don't need any money, Emmitt, but if you ever wanted to do a deal, they would be glad to. He's got plenty of money, but he would do a deal. Stevens. Great to see Curtis Jeffries there. I didn't know you were going to be here. Warren Simpson. I do want to thank Miles Stevens for continuing their sponsorship. You got Warren over there doing big things in London. But we're glad he remembers. You guys remember that Stevens believes in what we're doing here at the Touchdown Club. So thank you so much. We appreciate y'all's support. Crane Automotive, Chris Crane. Appreciate you guys. Largest dealer group in Arkansas, 20 dealerships. Thank you so much, Crane Automotive. Midtown Plumbing, Jim and Haley Coleman, Kyle Jackson, plumbing installation, repair, maintenance services. Give these folks a call. They will take care of you in a great way. We've done it on our radio show before. They've been there in an instant at our station and other things, so glad to have them aboard. Right, Lindsay and Jennings, great to have Judy Henry here today. She wasn't there last week. Where's Judy? Great to see Judy, former athlete. Also, she leads the division that can deal with NIL. If you want to do an NIL deal with a collegiate player, their staff can help you do that. They got a great group of attorneys, and their sports law division is outstanding. One of their guests today, well, I'll mention him a little bit later, is Reggie Swinton, who Reggie played with Emmitt for 4 years at Dallas. Let's welcome officially Reggie Swinton, everybody. The Hatcher Agency, Greg Hatcher, the home of outrageous service, the state's top producing employee benefits agency in Arkansas for 30 consecutive years, one of the most successful companies in America. He also owns Twin City Limo, amongst other things, Scoops, you name it. But they do a great job in everything here in Arkansas. Greg's a mover and shaker, and we couldn't do what we do at the Touchdown Club. So if you're a business and you're looking for great insurance, make sure and talk to the Hatcher Agency. Appreciate Greg. Oaklawn. I saw Zach Gillum just walked up. Appreciate Zach being here. Did you guys see the Oaklawn Sports FanDuel, obviously fueled by FanDuel, line for Arkansas, North Alabama? Did you see what the line was? 40. So Arkansas is favored by 40. You guys feel good about that? All right. Hey, how about we be happy with a win by 4? How about that? But be great to work with you guys. Kaylee, I see you over there. Look forward to working with Oaklawn. Hey, Emmitt, it's been a long road for us Razorback fans. I'm just telling you. You'll learn that today. Summerwood Sports, the Hendricks family, David and Doug Hendricks, couldn't do it without you guys. They're amazing sports complex. Some of the best in the business, like Isaiah Joe, do their camps there. Great to have you guys. Thanks for your continued support, both with us and all the things you do across the state. You guys are best. Couldn't do it without you. And your support of the Razorbacks, too. Sissy's Log Cabin, Bill and Sherry Jones, appreciate their support. They've got a new store. I don't know if you've seen it, Rex, going up on University and Cantrell. My gosh, it's going to be one of the nicest in America. So thanks to Bill and Sherry Jones and their amazing the jewelry that they have. Although Jessica may get me in trouble, she wants me to stop by there more often, I think is what she said. Oh, you didn't say that? Okay, just checking. Keep talking. But yeah, Yes, I'm going to get myself in trouble. Thanks to Sissy's Log Cabin. We appreciate them. Double B's family-owned convenience store company out of Searcy, 34 locations throughout central Arkansas. They have been around a long time, and they do a great job of serving our communities with gas, snacks, and deli foods. Steve Lytle, the owner, and GM Ed Light, thank you. Simmons Bank Arena, where we'll be with President Clinton and Jerry Jones. That's on October 12th. They had 13,000 people the other night with Benson Boone. So they do a great job. We appreciate them and their partnership with us. Roller Funeral Homes, Renata Jenkins Byler. Thank you, Renata. 24 locations across the state. They are so wonderful to work with in tough times. Arkansas Surgical Hospital, Brian Fowler is the CEO, an amazing group of doctors over there on North Shore Drive in North Little Rock. Check them out online at arkansassurgicalhospital.com. If you're getting ready to have a procedure, talk to your doctor about having the procedure with Arkansas Surgical Hospital. Advantage Service Company, Mike McClellan. Mike, good to see you here 2 weeks in a row. That's a shocker. Glad you're supporting us. Matthew Bailey, they're obviously the new tagline, above the call all day, every day. So everything that has to do with HVAC and electrical needs, over 35 years in the business, make the call, 501-1-CALL. Pulaski County Farm Bureau, Todd Dennis, great service with great rates. We appreciate them being a continual sponsor of the Touchdown Club. Arkansas Spine and Pain, Dr. Qureshi, appreciate you, Dr. Q as they call him. CEO Scott Davis, 6 convenient locations. If you're dealing with pain, let them help you out. Little Rock, Conway, Jacksonville, Benton, Searcy, and Whitehall. Arkansas Spine and Pain, thank you. The Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Wally Hall and Amanda Copley. Amanda actually brought in Emmitt. How many years ago was that, Amanda? Many years ago. How many? So 9 years ago. Did a great job. And Keith Jackson, of course, did the Q&A. But thank you, Amanda, for your support, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. 103.7 The Buzz, my co-host Roger Scott for supporting me. I had to leave the show an hour early and leave him back there by himself, but he does a great job. I had the first Razorback song today of the year. He does one every week, and he did it as a tribute to Dolly. And it was really good, so we'll play that throughout the week. Thanks, Roger. And, of course, Justin Acre and Phil Ellison are doing the show out there live. They already talked with Emmitt. They'll also carry his comments with me a little bit later, so appreciate the Buzz and what they do. AY Media Group, Heather Baker, AY Magazine, and Arkansas Money and Politics. This is the cover. Pretty impressive shot there, Emmitt. This is Emmitt wearing the gold jacket. That was before the gray. Yeah, listen, I always say go back 10, 15 years if you want a picture of me. That's a good point there, Emmitt. So thanks to Heather Baker and AY Media Group for supporting the Touchdown Club. Appreciate you. Great story here on Emmitt. Arkansas TV, Anita, Brian in the back. Carlton Wing to do a great job of what you'll see here. People will be watching all around the state and around the nation today. Live stream on both Arkansas Live and the Little Rock Touchdown Club live stream. The Doubletree Hotel. All this stuff they do, this is not the normal for hotels to do. They go above and beyond. So thanks to Tiffany and Mark and the gang Nita for all the folks, all the hard work they do. Flyover Agency, social media. Look at that team over there. There's 6 people doing social media with the Flyover Agency, Emmitt. So we just don't roll in here and just do like 1 or 2 posts. We do it in a big way, so appreciate them. Rockstar Passes, Brad Rickett. Thank you, Brad, for all your effort for us. Sunbelt Convention Services, Tim Glasscock. And, of course, War Memorial Stadium. Let's give a round of applause to all those amazing sponsors. Can't do it without them. Thank you. Even though I've lost 25 pounds, I still sweat. Frank, I see you down there. Frank, I still sweat. There's nothing I can do about it. I just should have taken my jacket off. I don't know. No, I'll leave it on. I do want to thank the Touchdown Club team, Rex Nelson, Dwayne Duncan taking photos, Wes Sutton, Chris Kane, and R.J. Hawk. Steve Qualls, who does all of our amazing gear at Design Lab. So go online and check those out, those Touchdown Club shirts and sweatshirts and all those items. And then, of course, our amazing volunteer team, over 20 volunteers led by Debbie Wyman. Let's give a big round of applause for all of our staff of the Touchdown Club. All volunteers. All volunteers. All right, before we get Emmitt up here, we got to have Rex's first weekend recap. He does it like nobody else in America. Give it up for Rex Nelson, everybody.
Thank you, David. We may have a sweat off. It is hot in front of these lights up here, let me tell you. Now, this is going to be short because it was week 0. This is the first full weekend coming up of college football. But we did have a couple of Arkansas teams out there. And how about those Bears and Golden Lions getting victories to start it off? Big one for UCA. They go on the road against a ranked team. Redshirt freshman Donovan Amalo from there in Conway completes 20 of 27 passes, 243 yards, 3 TDs. Chris was there on the radio. He tells me Amalo's the real deal. And that was a 36-24 road win over Tennessee Martin. Now, Amalo transferred from Division II Central Missouri, so this was his first D1 start. Get this, he also rushed for 118 yards on 12 carries in addition to that passing. So keep an eye on the Bears. They may be back. They're 1-0 for the first time since 2020. And then before a good crowd of over 17,000 out at War Memorial Stadium, UAPB beats Morehouse 35-15. That's the first Golden Lion win at War Memorial Stadium since 2012. They had lost 7 straight at War Memorial, so it's good to see the Golden Lions get on the winning way back there. Got a great transfer from Boise State named Demetric Whitlock. You're going to be hearing that name a lot this fall. He had 3 touchdown catches for the Golden Lions in that win. All right, you got plenty of choices for games this week. Thursday night, the Great American Conference always starts on Thursdays before they move to Saturdays. The 6 Arkansas teams will be playing the 6 Oklahoma teams, and 4 of those 6 games are here in Arkansas. So you got a chance to go out and sample GAC football, which is loaded. in Arkansas. 4 of the 6 Arkansas teams last year, David, had 7 wins or more. 5 of the 6 did. 5 of the 6 had 7 wins or more. This Thursday, Southeastern Oklahoma at UAM. Even the Boll Weevils have got a new coach who used to be at Valdosta State as head coach and took them to the Division II National Championship. Later head coach at Division I McNeese State. So he's going to turn Monticello around. Northwestern Oklahoma at Harding. Harding, of course, has been in 2 of the last 3 national championship games. They were runner-up last year. They won the national title 2 years before. Still loaded, ranked number 2 in the nation in the preseason Division II poll. You've got East Central at Ouachita. Ouachita with 17 consecutive winning seasons, the most of any college or university in Arkansas, 17 straight winning seasons. You've got Southwestern Oklahoma at Arkansas Tech. Roy Thompson, his second year as head coach, and he took them to 7 wins last year. He's turned the Wonder Boys around. Henderson, which finished tied for second last year, they're at Southern Nazarene, and Southern Arkansas, which was also tied for second, at Oklahoma Baptist. So 6 games. Also Thursday, UAPB coming off that win. Well, now it's time to go collect the check. They play at Missouri on Thursday night. So if you want to watch TV, you can see that one on Thursday. Now Saturday, of course, North Alabama at Arkansas in Fayetteville, as we said. I'm counting Memphis as local because it's right across the river. So you've got Arkansas State loading up to go to Memphis, which had a huge win over UNLV over the weekend, in the newly remodeled Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium in Memphis. And I've seen the photos. It looks great, guys. So that might be a road trip for you. West Florida's at UCA if you want to see those Bears. And East Texas Baptist plays at Line in the Division III category. So get this, David. Thursday night, we've got games at Monticello, Searcy, Arkadelphia, and Russellville. And then Saturday, we've got games at Fayetteville, Memphis, Conway, and Batesville. You know what that means? No excuses. Turn off the TV, get off the couch, and get out and see some college football games this week. Thanks, everybody.
Preach it, Rex. Preach it. Before we bring up Emmitt, real quick, just mention a couple of special guests. Chris Wyman is here, the executive director of Potlucks. You guys know that all the leftover food here is collected, so none of it goes to waste. All the leftover food goes to Central Arkansas food pantries, shelters, and agencies that help communities around the state. And that I did not know that till last year. That's a really cool thing. Although there's no leftover food from Rex's plate. Just saying. Where's Chris Wyman at? Is Chris here? Let's give it up for Chris Wyman over there, everybody. Thank you for the good work you do. Great to have our Lieutenant Governor here, Leslie Rutledge. Where's Leslie at? Let's welcome Leslie Rutledge, Lieutenant Governor. Also, you know, I've been doing this for 22 years. I don't always deal with a lot of agents. A lot of these bookings I do myself because I've got connections. And sometimes we do deal with agents. And we've got Emmitt's agent here today. And I don't know if you know this, Emmitt. I go back with Scott back to when we had Herm Edwards on my radio show years ago. He was great to work with back then. So glad he made the trip down here. He's a Pennsylvania guy. We'll forgive him for being a Penn State grad supporter. But I wanted to welcome him. He's from Octagon, which is really a global agency that represents some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment. We're glad to have him here in Little Rock. I don't know if this is his first time or not, but Scott, stand up. Scott Horner, everybody. Stand up, Scott. Let's make sure and show him some Arkansas love. Thank you for making the trip. You know, Scott's got to be very careful of his client and, you know, got to make sure he gets treated correctly and all that thing. I completely respect that. Listen, after being at the world's shortest parade, Scott, I don't know if we can top that thing. You know, you're throwing beads every 5 seconds and Mardi Gras and all that. So I don't know if we're going to get quite that crazy, but we're going to have a good time here today. Also, I know there was a lot of folks who were moved by the passing of Dolly Parton. because there is a connection here, and we all love Dolly. Of course, we had Kelly Finglass last year, head of the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. Anita, if we could just, how about remembering Dolly Parton rocking the Dallas Cowboys outfit last year? I'm going to tell you, that's 75 years old right there. She had my respect right there getting in that outfit, but we love Dolly, and we remember her in her outfit, and I know a lot of you folks out there are big supporters of Dolly, so we wanted to mention her. All right, without further ado, we're so excited to have this guy, doing my prep for our conversation. What he's accomplished is really amazing. We're both Panhandle guys. I grew up in Panama City. He grew up in Pensacola. I'm a few years older than him, but what he's done in his career, every step of the way, he has changed programs. He changed his high school program. He changed the Gaither program, put it on the trajectory when Steve Spurrier came in to greater things. And, of course, he brought 3 Super Bowls to Dallas, and then he just kept winning, even in Dancing with the Stars. So this guy is a winner. This guy's a winner. He's tough as nails, as personable as a guy you'll ever meet. I was watching an interview with Troy Aikman, and Troy Aikman said, of course, we've had probably 20-something Dallas Cowboys, including Roger Staubach, which we're and even Troy Aikman said, Emmitt, he said, you probably put Roger Staubach there, but he said, as far as the most popular Dallas Cowboy of all time, it's Emmitt Smith. And so that's quite a compliment coming from Troy Aikman. So the fact that he's willing to come back to Arkansas, come to Little Rock to the Touchdown Club, we're very honored. Let's take a look at Steve Sullivan's introduction, and then we'll do some Q&A with Emmitt Smith, everybody.
Block from right, gets into the 40.
Today we have the pleasure of welcoming one of the greatest football players to ever put on a uniform. Prior to becoming a Cowboys legend, Emmitt Smith made his name as a Florida Gator. In just 3 seasons in Gainesville, Emmitt rushed for more than 3,900 yards, set numerous school records, and established himself as one of the best backs in college football. Then came the NFL and an unforgettable run as a Dallas Cowboy. Emmitt helped the Cowboys win 3 Super Bowls, was named a Super Bowl MVP, earned NFL MVP honors, and was selected to play in 8 Pro Bowls. And of course, he finished his career as the NFL's all-time leading rusher with 18,355 yards, a record that still stands today. He's also an accomplished author, philanthropist, and dancer.
All right, our first standing ovation.
From the Florida Gators to the Dallas Cowboys to football immortality, please welcome the NFL's all-time rushing king, Emmitt Smith.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello.
All right. So,
Hello, Little Rock.
Yeah.
What's up?
listen, you've been here a few times. You know your way around here, don't you?
Just a few.
Yeah, just a few. Yeah, we don't play Florida Gator fight songs too much. A lot of people.
I was surprised that you did play it.
So for those that don't know, before the meeting starts, we play the fight songs of every speaker who is coming to speak at the Touchdown Club. Okay. So whoever's on the lineup, you'll see we'll play their fight song. And when I played, I was 1-0 against the Gators. It was before you got there, though, but it was a pretty darn good team. Had 6 number 1 draft choices in the 1982. Wilbur Marshall, right. Lomas Brown, correct. James Jones, Neil Anderson, John L. Williams. I mean, it was
Ricky Nattil was on there.
Yeah, it was a talented bunch. So let's start with this, Emmitt. There's some Arkansas connections here. I'm going to start with this first one. This is a guy that's going to be here in a few weeks to talk to us. Yeah, how about that? So look, Bill Clinton, I don't know which Super Bowl that was, because if you remember, you made 3 trips to the White House with 3 Super Bowls. What do you remember about your visit with Bill Clinton?
Well, it wasn't the White House that Michael Irvin talked about all the time. That's for sure.
Different White House. Yeah, you got to read about
different
that.
White House. No, but
you got to Google that to find out the story there.
No, it was a great experience as well. No, I mean, when Clinton was in, everything was going well. The economy was going well. The Cowboys was doing well. And so my association with Bill Clinton is, everything was going well. The Cowboys and all of it was doing well. But having that experience to go to D.C. and to have a personal tour of the White House and to experience the time that we did spend with I want to call him Coach Clinton, but Bill Clinton, our president, was awesome. Just the experience alone. It's not that often that young people think about having a chance to be around a president. And so when you get a chance to do that, it is one of those aha moments. It's like, wow, the game of football that took me a lot of places and have opened doors for me in a lot of different ways to experience life that only my parents could ever dream of. And so that experience alone has afforded a relationship between our President Clinton, the Cowboys, and myself. So those are just wonderful moments and memories that that stand out. I mean,
we may have to bring that up in a few weeks when he comes. What do you think about that matchup that we arranged to have President Clinton and Jerry Jones together on a stage for 45 minutes? What do you think that's going to be like?
I think your first question is going to be your last question.
That is probably true. That is probably they don't need much urging to talk
at all. I mean, you just turn the mic on and it's over with. It's a wrap. What are you going to say in between that?
I know, not much. A couple other things. I don't know if you guys remember this. I thought this was really something very cool. So we had Peyton Hillis, the year here at the Touchdown Club, removed when he almost died trying to save his kids in the Gulf of Mexico. He almost drowned himself. He saved his kids, and you've heard about it. And you went. He talked about this. If you remember, he got very emotional about that whole, obviously, almost dying and saving his kids. But you found out about the story, went by and saw him.
Oh, yeah. When I heard about it, I happened to be in Pensacola, and I was like, this just happened. I know he's still here. Because I had my people reach out to his publicist to try to figure out where it was that. They say he's still there, he's in the hospital, but they won't give us any information in terms of where he's at. And I said, okay. He's going to be in one or two hospitals, Sacred Heart, or he's going to be in Baptist. I went to Sacred Heart myself looking for him. They wouldn't give me any information. And so later on that evening, I happened to be downtown Pensacola smoking a cigar with my brother, and another guy came in that we knew, and I knew he was well connected. I said, listen, I'm trying to find Peyton Hillis while I'm in town. I want to go by and see him and just put my eyes on him. He said, give me a second. I'll call you to let you know. A couple hours later, he's in Baptist. I said, okay, what room? He gave me the room number and everything. And so
and Peyton had no idea.
No, I had no way of getting in touch with him. And so that next day, I went up to Baptist, walked to the room, knocked on the door. I think before I got there, they had already told him I was coming. So when I got in, my brother and I, we sat there and spent about 45 minutes or an hour with Peyton and his friend. And we just got a chance to talk, and got a chance to put my eyes on him. And he was sharing what happened and everything else. But to see him and to know that he made it through, because Ryan Mallett didn't make it through. I mean, we talk about athletes and so forth, but losing someone that's either shared a position or that you have a relationship with is a totally different thing. These are humans. We all are humans, and we all go through different things. And so to be that close and for me not to go and try to find him, that would be a travesty for me. And so he was 2 blocks from where I grew up at. My mom and dad's house is 2 blocks from that hospital. And I used to run the streets up and through Baptist on the other side and everything else. So I knew Baptist. I was born in Baptist. So I made it definitely a point to try to get there. If anybody that I know that's in that area that goes through something like he went through, and I'm in town, I got to make the effort.
Well, I know it meant a lot to him because he shared it, and I don't think everybody. I remember when it posted that, so that was very kind of you to do that. Another Arkansas connection we already mentioned, Reggie Swinton, who is here. Reggie, dynamic player. This is actually on the field.
Look how young we look.
I know.
Especially Reggie.
So and you remember Reggie was a player now.
Yes,
he was a special teams. He really produced. So that picture, Anita, put that back up one more time. So that picture is the day you broke Walter Payton's record, and he's asking you right here, he said, how you feel today?
Yes.
And you said, I think I started crying, I think, when I came out here.
Yeah.
But that's actually, I know Reggie posted that earlier today, but what are your memories of Reggie Swinton?
A very talented player. I thought he would have been. I thought he was one of our better wide receivers. I talked about a couple of things early on the radio show before I got. You got to have consistency, you got to have durability, and you got to be in a system that's committed to you. At the time, I don't know if our system was as complete as it needed to be to take advantage of a talent like Reggie Swinton. And so finding that balance was the key. He would have been one of the guys that I could count on to make a big play if they threw him in the game and made sure that he given the opportunity to make plays for us. But in football world, financial situation has a way of dictating who gets on the football field. And unfortunately for Reg, he had guys that the Cowboys brought in as free agents that they had to make sure that was on the football field. But he would make remarkable plays in practice. And when I say remarkable plays, I mean diving catches, one-handed catches, and ran routes and so forth. And so, unfortunately, that could not get on the football field at the time. And so he was one of those guys that could have really helped our offense perform. And even on special teams, he had the ability to make plays on the special team sides, whether it's punt return or kickoff return. And so, very talented individual. Coaching right now, some of those things I know he would take with him because of his experience, not only with the Cowboys, but also with the Lions and others. Having that, being around the game of football, give you a lot of life lessons that I think are very applicable to everyday living.
On that day that you broke the Walter Payton's record, everybody in the room knows that it was Daryl Johnston that was the fullback blocking for him, right?
No.
Right? It was not. It was actually another Arkansas connection. Anita will show it was number 44, Robert Thomas, who is a Henderson State grad, played at Jacksonville High School. He blocked for you for 4 years after Daryl Johnston had the neck injury.
Right.
And matter of fact, the next shot, if we show the next shot, Anita, this is Robert Thomas picking you up after you had just broken the record for Walter Payton. So what do you remember about Robert Thomas?
Now, you're talking about a guy that has overcome challenges, whether he came from Henderson and was a linebacker here at Henderson. Right. And then he comes to the Cowboys, and they convert him to a fullback. You're talking about doing things and being a utility guy that can do a number of different things and taking advantage of the opportunities that are given to you. This is what Robert Thomas has done. Not only that, but he suffered a broken ankle prior to that season. So he had to come back and get himself physically ready to go play the next year, that following year. And this happened to be that year. And so to make sacrifices, to understand that in order to make the Dallas Cowboys, you might have to change positions. That's a mental change. That's a physical change, because playing the fullback position in our system, you have to be able to know how to slide right or left against offensive linemen's blocks. You need to learn how to read where the potential hole could actually be. Then not only that, but position yourself squaring up on linebackers that is coming downhill. Red Rock did that. He sacrificed just as much as Daryl Johnston did. But on that particular day, he knew how important that moment was. He knew, and I think Swinton knew, that day when I walked on that football field, they probably saw it in my eyes and saw that fire and that hunger that is going down in Texas Stadium today. And they did a great job of doing everything that they could to give me every opportunity to become the all-time leading rush at that time.
Yeah, that was a great block. Yeah, great block there by Robert Thomas. I know you said if you'd have kept your feet, you'd have run that even longer.
I probably got caught, but I probably ran that thing to the house, though. Ran on out the tunnel and kept on going on home.
So one of the things that was fun for me and Emmitt to visit with just for a few minutes, I very rarely get the chance to talk with guys that are from my neck of the woods, and that's the Panhandle of Florida. I grew up in Panama City, and he and I are probably the only guys that could talk for 5 minutes about the high schools. Yeah. We Panama City Mosley used to play against all the high schools there in Pensacola. But let's go back real quick. Let's show the picture of a young Emmitt here. Let's see, Anita, what we got. How old do you think you are right there?
45. That's a Green Bay color jersey. I probably was 11.
So did the 11-year-old Emmitt at that time, did you know that you had the potential for greatness, or at that time you were just enjoying playing ball?
I was just enjoying football. I was just enjoying it. not knowing how long or where the game would actually take you, but loving the game because that was the game before politics actually got into the game. I mean, think about it from this perspective. I mean, you're a young kid and they're putting some of the best kids on the football field. You only got so many players. And you have certain players that may stand out and do certain things that can go both ways and play defense, offense, and special teams and all these things and kick return and punt return. That was me. I was doing all those things. So it was fun playing the game of football because not only did I get a chance to run it, but also got a chance to hit people. And that's the balance that you're looking for. You hit me hard, I get to hit you hard. So it was one of those things. But then when you get to high school and you're brought up to varsity and it's the same game but bigger players. Every level, the game gets faster, bigger, faster, and stronger. And so even as a true freshman playing on varsity, the beautiful thing about it, I had played against most of the guys anyway in Little League football anyway. So I knew who these players were. They knew who I was. But having a chance to even prove that you can play on varsity, it was just the same game. But it was isolated now. I was just a running back. They wouldn't let me play defense. So all I could do was just run the football. And that's what I did for 3 to 4 years until my senior year to where I got a chance to go both ways because we didn't have as much depth on the defensive side of the ball. And so I played running back for 4 years, and I got a chance to play a little bit of defense my senior year. That's when football was its best because now I was still the kid doing that. Going to University of Florida, all that shit went out the window. Matter of fact, I even requested to play defensive back. Yeah. I mean, I get to Florida, they had like 10 or 12 running backs back then. I'm like, man, why y'all sign me? I mean, guys that they brought in and everything else.
Well, your numbers.
And this is what Galen Hall said to me. He said, son, if I put you on that defensive side of the ball, they're going to fire me tomorrow. I'm like, but shoot, coach, you got all these running backs. Stacy Simmons was a running back. You had Wayne Williams. You had Cedric Smith. You had Darryl Perry. You had Wes Hopkins from a transfer came in. Octavius Gould. You had so many of them. I'm like, man, by the time I get on the football field, I'm going to be a senior.
Yeah, I think, though, the names you just mentioned, everybody in this room only recognizes one name, and that's you out of that bunch. So let me go back real quick before we get to, because I do want to say something about your high school. You have 6 total siblings, right? You six altogether, 6 kids. Your mom and dad are no longer with us, but I know they were special people. You didn't grow up with a lot of means,
right?
And I think your dad was a bus driver, if I remember right. And but he was a pretty darn good athlete himself. What was it like growing up with 5 other siblings and the lessons that your mom and dad taught you?
Everybody was fighting for the cereal. Whoever got to the cereal first ate up the whole thing and then left a little corner in there for everyone else to. I mean, I was the oldest boy. My sister never fought for cereals, but it was all the boys. You know, you get there, you're going to eat at least 3 or 4 bowls of Lucky Charms if you got Lucky Charms, or you're going to have just Frosted Flakes or whatever you got. But it was great because the one thing that did teach us was how to share and not to be selfish, and not only that, but sharing responsibilities around the house. Because when mom went and worked and my dad went and worked, we was left to clean up the house, do the laundry, hang up the clothes, fold the clothes, clean the bathrooms and stuff like that. Bathrooms I hated. And my sister fought over who was going to do it. I said, I'm going to do everything. I do all the other stuff, but you're going to have to take care of the bathroom. I'll wash the dishes. I'll wash the clothes. I'll hang up the clothes. I'll vacuum the food. I do all of that, but I ain't doing that bathroom. But that's what it was. That's what it was. And the beautiful thing about it is that's how we are today. I mean, seriously, my brothers and sisters, every Tuesday night, we have family prayer call. Family prayer call. My mom started about 15 years ago, and when she passed away, we continued that on. And now it's every Tuesday night at 7:30, I'm getting a phone call, and each one of us get a chance to lead that prayer call with a message of the day. And that's the beautiful part about family that I absolutely love. That's the part that my mom and dad left with us. And that's the part that we're continuing on right now. And some of my kids jump on as well. Not all of them, but some of them jump on every now and again.
By the way, y'all had 6 kids in your family, and now you have 5 kids.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not going for the 6th one. They can have that one.
So Emmett has, I share something with Emmett a little bit, where my high school program was a laughing stock in Panama City. Your program at Escambia had never had a winning record ever until you got there in the 9th grade. And by the time from the 9th grade to your senior year, you became the second all-time high school rusher in the history of high school football. Touchdowns, there he is right there, Pensacola, Escambia. We played at Panama City, Mosley. Didn't play you, but won 2 state championships. I love what your coach, the coach that came in, I love what he did. He said, I'm going to make you write down what your goals are. And because why did he do that? He made you put them up. Why did he have to make you guys do that, Emmett?
He made us do that because he wanted to change the culture. And I was talking to Reggie earlier about changing the culture, things like that. When you talk about losing that many games and not having winning seasons and so forth, sometimes you just got to change the culture. You got to change the dynamics of the room. And he was a guy, and one thing about players that I absolutely love, we know when someone is really, really genuine and someone is really, really looking after you. And humble players receive that information because this might be the first time that they ever heard anybody talk about goal setting. I never heard anyone talk about goal setting or business planning. And so when he said that, I want you guys to write down your goals because it's only a dream until you write it down. What are your aspirations? Do you want to continue with the losing ways or do you want to change these ways? And here's one way to start it. Jot down your goals for what it is that you see or that you want for your team. How you see your team becoming a champion. Do you want to be a champion? Do you want to be just a local champion or a regional champion or even a state champion and perhaps even a national champion? Had us think about things that we never, ever thought about and what that might look like. So when you say that to a kid, it's like, what is that? I know what pro look like. I know what college look like. But before I even get there, I got to know what it looks like today. What kind of experience do I want? And are you willing to make those sacrifices to go and make it happen? So he said, it's only a dream until you write it down. Write down your goals. What goals do you have for your team? And what goals do you see for yourself individually? And put all that together. And every day you come to work, you think about those goals. You look yourself in the mirror. You ask yourself, have I done everything that I possibly can to get better today? And is there more that I can do, and what is it? Never become satisfied with anything, because the day that you do is the day that the growing stops. What does that mean? That means, yes, you can be successful that year, but will you be the same the next year? Because the next year dynamics could be different. The economy could be different. Something else could change that would impact anyone's life in here. What are you going to do? What adjustments do you need to make? And make those adjustments and keep going forward. That's the way Dwight Thomas raised us and taught us. And I told Reggie earlier, he mentioned to all of us football players, he said, look, you want to change the culture? Winning changes cultures. And you are the reason why the winning will change the culture. You have more impact on the school than you can possibly even imagine. You can change the whole community. Because when you start winning, people are going to want to be associated with winning. And when you start winning, you have to understand the responsibilities that comes along with it. Because to whom much is given, much is required. And it's required that you not only keep this knowledge and utilize this knowledge, but to share this knowledge with others. Because others are looking for ways to be inspired to become the very best version of themselves. And so that's the role of quality leaders. And that's for people that ask me, how do I lead? Hey, in order to lead, you got to learn how to follow first. Follow the right leaders. People who are pulling out the best in you and you're asking yourself, is this the right way to go? And how does this impact? And so when I looked at my teammates in high school, it didn't matter color, creed, or whatever. What mattered was they were working as hard as I was. They were showing up on time like he demanded of us, putting in that work. Then afterwards, we were loving each other and embracing each other. And nobody outside of our team was going to mess with us. And that's the way it went from there on and on and on and on. And so at every level, I had to set my goals. I had to visualize what I was going to do on the football field and how I was going to help impact that team. And I had to show up every day to get better, no matter if it was at the Gaithers, no matter if it was in high school, no matter if it was the Cowboys or the Cardinals, or no matter if it was on the dance floor with Cheryl Burke. All of these things, really, literally, all of these things I took with me at every level. And that's something that has never changed for me.
Yeah, and I love the fact you even teach that to your own kids about writing down your goals. You go to, you obviously win 2 state championships at Escambia. You're recruited by everybody in the country. You go to the Gaithers, Galen Hall, trying to deal with all the violations that happened under Charlie Pell. You see that Steve Spurrier's coming in. You've already SEC Player of the Year, 3-time All-American. You realize that Spurrier's coming in, and probably you're thinking, Spurrier's going to change this offense. You've been running the ball, and it's been good, and maybe it's a good time maybe to test out the NFL waters. And so probably a good decision to go the first. Yeah, it turned out pretty really good.
It's about probably.
Yeah, so you get there. It's interesting. So the Cowboys have first round draft pick, and they're looking at James Francis, the big defensive end from Baylor.
Yes.
Cincinnati pops up and gets him, and so Jimmy Johnson says, if we're not going to get Francis, I want the best running back on the board, and that's Emmitt Smith, and I'm gonna move up the board to get him. So they sign you, and everything's changed. I read it. I didn't want to even put it up there. Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman still kid you about the first day that you showed up for the press conference after you were drafted. You were wearing a polka dot gold and black shirt, and they never let you live that down.
That was before money. That was before money. Come on now. Everybody did what they could do at that time. That was before money.
So let's go.
They already had money. So when I showed up, I'm trying to get mine.
So I reached out. Jimmy Johnson was here last year, and I reached out to Coach Johnson yesterday. I said, "Hey, Coach, we got Emmitt Smith coming in. Give me something. Give me one thing about Emmitt Smith that you can share with our group today." Those that were here last year, was Jimmy Johnson not great last year? Holy cow, he was outstanding. So this is Anita. Let's play Coach Johnson's quick little message here about Emmitt.
I've watched Emmitt Smith's accomplishments all the way back to high school. When I saw the opportunity to get him in the draft, we didn't hesitate. I don't know that I've ever coached a player who took more pride in his performance. Emmitt, enjoy your day. Congratulations.
So I love that, Coach Johnson. Well, what are your memories about Jimmy? I know you guys have stayed tight all these years. Going back to those great years at Dallas, what are the best things that stand out to you about Jimmy?
He reminded me so much of Dwight Thomas, my high school coach. One of the lessons that I learned, it was Thursday, and on Thursday we do what we call the 2-minute drill, situational offense and situational defense. 2-minute drill is trying to move the ball down the field with 2 minutes before you go into the half. And Jimmy is the referee. He get to dictate where the ball is at. So it's like 3rd and 4, and I run a 5-yard out route just to get enough to get the first down. Troy throws it to me, and I got the first down, and I turn, and I run, I get tagged, and then Jimmy say, no first down, no first down. The ball is here, the ball is short, he's short. Ball on the left half, ball's on the left half. So I'm like, Coach, I got the first down. He said, no first down. I said, Coach, I got the first down. He said, get in the huddle. So I get in the huddle. Troy getting ready to call the next play. Then all of a sudden we break the huddle. We come out. He said, timeout. And okay, it's timeout. Troy walks over to the sideline, and this is my rookie year. And I go up to Coach Johnson. I say, listen, Coach, I got the first down. He said, Emmitt, get in the huddle. I said, but Coach, I got the first. Get your butt in the huddle. He didn't say but. He said some other choice words. So I was mad. And so after practice, I'm getting ready to go over to my running back meeting, and I walk past. I see Jimmy coming my way. I walk past and don't say nothing. After my running back meeting, I'm getting ready to go back to the training room. I see Jimmy coming back. I pass him, don't say nothing. I catch him one more time that day, and I'm walking past. He said, hey, you're not going to speak to me? I said, Coach, why did you front me out like that in front of my teammates? When I got the first thing, he said, E, I want you to know something, son. That wasn't even about you. He said, I was mad because the play did not get in time. And I didn't want to burn a time out. So I was more mad about that. He said, so, but you needed to get back into the huddle anyway, which I did. I knew had time. But the lesson that I learned from that is oftentimes we think things are about us. Oftentimes we think things are about us. And he also went on to say, listen, I want other players to know this. If I can get on my best players, the ones that I can count on, and the ones that are on the fringe, they know they need to shape up and get in line. If they don't shape up, they're getting out. But my message is, it's not all about you. Sometimes messages are, you are the product of the message, but it's beyond you. And I took that from Jimmy, and I appreciated that thought because he knew I take pride in my performance, as you heard him say. I got the first down. I got the first down. Yes, you did. But I'm running this drill. And this is what's about to happen for this drill because it's not about you. I want to make sure that the offensive coordinator is getting the play in time enough so I don't have to call a timeout. And that offensive coordinator got fired at the end of the season because we had one of the lowest rated offenses that season with quality players like Troy, Michael, myself, that Wall, the guys that end up becoming all pros, those guys that they had them pass blocking instead of run blocking, they figured that out. Jimmy knew how to make us better. See, that's why I say sometimes coaches see things in you that others don't see in themselves, or we don't see in ourselves. And so that lesson will always stick with me because it's not all about you.
I like this picture. One more thing on Jimmy. This is when Jimmy went in the Ring of Honor, rather, for the Cowboys. So this is when he's saying, how about them Cowboys? Yeah. And I love the fact that y'all have that relationship with Jimmy, that you were having fun with that. And you knew he was going to do that at the end. How about those Cowboys? Yeah.
We was waiting on that. No, but the reason why we had so much fun with it, because we knew he deserved it. How can we 3 or 4 or 5 of us be in the Ring of Honor and not the man that led us? That's like, how can Bill Belichick not be in the Hall of Fame and yet Tom Brady's coming up? And yet you hold him out for something that a player did as well. So some things don't make sense. And that was one of those things that did not make sense to us. We knew that we would not have been in that position without that man leading the way. And that's hard, because now as players, you're asking us questions about why not. I'm not in the head of Jerry. You can ask Jerry that when he comes up with Bill Clinton. But at the end of the day, I knew that, matter of fact, this is how simple that is. Have you won a Super Bowl since? That's how simple it is. I mean, at the end of the day, the one coach, no disrespect to Barry Switzer, but the one coach that set the foundation for everything that is built upon that foundation right now. Everything that you see are boats that are just bolted on top of that foundation. And when you get away from it, you got to start pruning the things that you got away from and get back to the basics of what got you there. That's the way I see it. That's the way I was trained. That's the way I learned. Those are the results that we got at every winning level that I've been at. And it's hard to get people to understand that. Sometimes it's not about you.
What about your QB? Yeah, what's that? So Troy Aikman, who if we ever get Troy Aikman, I might have to share this stage with my girlfriend because she would like to hold the mic.
She gonna do the interview.
So Troy Aikman, tell us a little bit about what he meant to you and those great years with Troy.
You know, an amazing person, an amazing football player. You talking about someone taking pride in their work? Troy took pride in his work. He took on the responsibility of being that number 1 pick for the Dallas Cowboys. And he was committed to the game of football and committed to trying to make the Cowboys the franchise that it needed to be. Think about how hard it is to be the #1 pick for the Dallas Cowboys, even when you're 1-15. And the world is expecting you to turn things around. And that's a high level of expectations without having all of the pieces of the puzzle in place. He was so committed and so stoic and so focused. I don't know if he had as much fun playing the game of football as Michael and Michael and myself. And so, but I know what kind of football player he is. I know what kind of man he is. He's the kind of guy that pays attention to details as most quarterbacks should do and most players should do. He studied the game of football like I studied the game of football. He knows it just like I know it inside and out. And without him, there's no Michael and there's no me. And they would probably say the same thing about myself. Because here's the beautiful thing. I played against Michael my freshman year at the University of Florida. I didn't play in the game until the fourth quarter. It was the very first game of my freshman year. Played against Troy that my freshman year in the bowl game out in Hawaii. We played against each other. And then all of a sudden, all three of us end up with each other. You see, I'm a firm believer things don't just happen just by happenstance. There's an orchestrator that's much greater than all of us to align this talent up the way he did, when he did, and how he did it. And not just us, but even Jimmy, but even Jerry. It was that moment where we all caught lightning in the bottle. And at the end of the day, that lightning is still striking right now for the boys. It's just not striking on the field. But the reality of the fact is that guy right there, man, you talk about, and y'all don't quite realize or understand this. Yesterday was cut day. A lot of guys' careers may end after yesterday. And as players, when you forge a relationship for the last 6 or 7 months of working and training right beside somebody, you develop relationships. And when that cut day happened, a part of you leave with that player. And you feel for that player because you don't know what's next for that player. And you somewhat feel a little like, why am I still here sometimes? And then when you see players like Troy retire, the way he retired, part of me left the game. The uncertainty. I cried. When I saw Michael leave, same thing. Because these are the guys that you help build this organization, help build this thing from the ground up. And now they're no longer with you. And when you're in that locker room sometimes, like my last year, I'm looking around. I'm the last of the Mohicans. Yes, Darren Woodson was over there. And he felt like he probably was the last of the Mohicans when his career ended. Because all of us come in with this notion and this vision and this perception that we're going to walk away together. It doesn't happen that way. But you have to learn how to go through those experiences. And those experiences itself help shape you and the person that you are and give empathy and compassion in areas that's way beyond you. And it is about others. It's not all about you.
You talked about Troy. You talked about Michael. Let's talk about Jerry Jones. Anita, if you could punch up number 8. I remember when Jerry bought the Cowboys in the 80s, and nobody knew who he was at the time, and he bought him for 125, 140 million. Yeah, it's worth now $15 billion. Tell me about Jerry. Tell me your thoughts on your first time dealing with Jerry and what it was like and your relationship with him.
Well, first and foremost, I didn't know the background of Mr. Jones completely. But all I knew was that he was not liked that well in Dallas because of how he came in and bought the Cowboys and so forth. But I tell anyone, you sitting there, you make a $140 million investment into an organization that's losing $1 million a month. $1 million a month. And I want you to put on the business hat. You just invested $140 million and you inherited an organization that's losing $1 million a month. That's $12 million a year. You gonna keep the same people? Are you gonna keep the same people? Something's wrong. And something needs to change. And somebody need to fix something, right? That's the expectation. And so I understand people affinity to Tom. I understand that. To Mr. Landry. I understand that. I had a great affinity to Mr. Landry as well. I love the Federo hat. Even when I was a kid, I told you they were one of my favorite teams. Even when they were losing, they were still one of my favorite teams. But I understand that this is a game of productivity. And this is a man that just made a $140 million investment into an organization that needs to turn around. So things have to change. You cannot put new wine in the old sheep clothing. You have to learn how to go with the punches. And so that's one thing I learned about Mr. Jones. Yes, you call him a risk taker. I call him he's a calculated strategist. And he knew what he wanted to do and how to change things around. He saw something that others didn't quite see. And he's kind of like me in terms of running back. I see things that others don't see as I run with the football. And you wonder, how did he see that? Does he have eyes in the back of his head? No. It's just peripheral vision and seeing things differently and processing things differently. So Mr. Jones is very calculated in his moves. And he's a very shrewd businessman. Smart, extremely smart, compassionate. He cares about people and he cares about his team. How else would you keep guys that are constantly getting in trouble on your squad? Because you see something in them that they don't see in themselves. And he believes in them, and sometimes people are a reflection of who you are. So there's a level of compassion there and a level of trust and belief that he's going to get it together. And he's going to help somebody else. You see that time and time again. And so that part is something that oftentimes get left or swept under the rug. And all the time people want to classify him as this and meddling with the Cowboys. He is the owner. It's his squad. Now he doesn't call plays. He doesn't call defenses. He helped go get the groceries and bring the groceries back so the defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators can do their job. And when the game happens, it's on them. He's not sitting up in the booth calling no plays. It's on the players now to take on the responsibility of becoming a professional athlete. It's on the coaches to make sure that they are in a position to win. So Mr. Jones does his part. The whole Jones family do their part. That's why the organization has been successful on the marketing side, but been sorry on the football side. They got to get that part right. They got to get that part right. So I love Mr. Jones. He gave me my first opportunity to become a professional athlete. He gave me my first $1 million. Y'all think that's a joke? I'm serious. I ain't never seen $1 million, never saw 1,000, really. I mean, it was hard to see anything back in the day when I was growing up. That's why the polka dots was on my back on draft day. Let's be honest, this man gave me my first opportunity to have a job that I really, truly love doing. Some jobs you don't love doing, you just got to do it out of necessity. But I absolutely love what I did. And they made that choice and that decision to pick me. So, rightfully so, I got to give it back. And got to give it back the best way I know how. And so with Mr. Jones, I love them and that family, man, because I understand, and he was so generous. I mean, sharing knowledge with me and allowing me to sit in his office and listen at his business conversations. Riding on his plane with him, even when I was flying commercial, we happened to see each other. He said, come on, get on the plane, come back with me. And he introduced me to Johnny Walker Blue. I mean, hell, all I do was gin and everything else. I mean, I got my first bourbon with this man. And I mean, like, come on. I mean, like, he took me up a notch. And so you got to be around people that have gone places that you're trying to go. And this man had a vision for what he wanted to see out of his organization on the field as well as developing the brand. And so he challenged the establishment. Let this be a lesson. You challenge the establishment to make the overall picture better. The overall picture better, not just the Cowboys, but he did things that transformed the whole entire league. That's forward thinking. And oftentimes people want to put you in a box because their box is limited. Think about that. They want you to stay where you are because their box is limited. Mr. Jones is never limited. He's out of the box. He's free thinking, but he also brings the characteristics with him that has some of the things that I just talked about, caring for people. And so he's a brilliant man.
Last thing here, you've set every record. We'll see if anybody breaks the rushing record. There's always the argument, who's the greatest running back of all time. But when you were done with
I don't argue.
What's that?
I don't argue.
Perfect answer. So back, I think you were 2 years removed from retiring. Dancing with the Stars came out, and it was only the third season. So it was still big. I remember Jerry Rice, the second season, had finished second. And you got in it the third year with Cheryl Burke. And so that people don't remember. Let me tell you, that show at the time was getting 27 million people viewing every week. This obviously you end up winning that thing. So same mentality. Did you take the same approach to listen? I'm not doing this thing unless I'm going to win it. Especially, Jerry Rice got second, right? And so you had to go into the thing thinking you were going to win, right?
No doubt.
Now wait a minute. I want to show this picture. Look at this move here. This is you and Cheryl Burke. Next one up here, Anita, if you can. Holy cow, man. Now, did you know how to dance at all before you started dancing with Cheryl?
Bro, I didn't know how to do none of that you see out there. All of that was stuff I had to learn. But here's the thing. You mentioned Jerry. Before Dance with the Stars, and you mentioned season 3, I turned it down in season 1.
Okay.
I was asked to do it in season 1. And I turned it down because it was a brand new show, didn't know where the show was going to go. And we didn't want to be a part of anything that potentially not re-aired. And so season 2 came around. I'm in the real estate space now, doing real estate deals. And I turned it down again because I was busy doing these things. And then I saw Jerry Rice do it. And you're right, he did get second place. But I honestly felt in my heart, y'all, that I can outdance Evander Holyfield and Jerry Rice put together.
Holyfield was the first year.
Yeah, Holyfield was season 1 and Jerry was season 2. So I got the opportunity to do it again in season 3. But here's the crazy part about it. You talk about, did I know how to dance like that? No, let's be honest. I knew how to dance, but not ballroom dancing. Now, many people here may know how to dance, but many people here may not know how to ballroom dance. How many of you in here know how to do the salsa? Not many. You see what I'm saying? How many of you in here know how to do the cha-cha? Very few. It's 600 people in here, and that number is very small. So the reality of the fact is, I had to learn these things. And again, humility is such a great thing to have in life. You know why? Because the more humble you are, the more fertile ground you actually have. Because when you run into knowledge, you soak up knowledge. You don't abuse it, you soak it up. And so learning new stuff, I had to humble myself because this woman knew what she was doing. She was a professional. I wasn't. I went back to amateur status. You see, I may have come in the ballroom with celebrity status, but I was an amateur in this space. And so being an amateur in this space means that you need to humble yourself so you can learn these things. Now, the process is what the process is. When I got beat by Jerry Springer in week 3 after doing the tango, all bets was off. Because I was so mad about losing to Jerry Springer. I scored a 19, he scored a 21. Ain't no way in the world Jerry Springer could beat me dancing. There was no way. So I took the football mentality back into the ballroom. I went back, we flew back. I told Cheryl, I said, listen, all bets off. We're not working 4 hours a day no more. We're going 8 hours a day. And we're going to break these routines up in the way that I know how to learn them. You did a great job for a month, for almost 7 weeks, because we practiced a whole month before the first show. So week 3 was my tango. So that's 7 weeks of practicing. I said, enough. Here's the football mentality. We're going to break this thing down into like inside run, Individual period, blitz period, 7-on-7 period, team period, bringing all that stuff together. And that's what we did. Broke the dance down 30-second intervals. I'm going to learn the first 30 seconds, and we're going to run it for about a couple hours. So it's already ingrained, and I know what the first 30 seconds look like. And then we're going to attach on the second. Then we're going to hit the final. And then after that, once we do 8 hours of that, I know what I'm doing. Guess what happened the next day? She would make adjustments. She would make subtle adjustments within the dance, but I knew the structure of the dance. Then after those adjustments, we would go practice techniques. Third day was technique day. Fourth day was more technique day. And maybe a few minor adjustments here, because in the middle of doing all this stuff, I found pockets of opportunity to where I could let my personality out, and I would do certain things. She was like, oh, I like that. We're going to put that in. I was like, I stopped doing it. I stopped having fun that way. No, but what I learned was the more fun you start having, the looser you become, and the more you stay in the structure of the dance. And therefore, we accelerated the process. And I got better and better and better. But commitment was the absolutely key to it all. And thank you all for voting for us, because we had a great time doing it.
He's a champion. We'll end with this last shot. I know this number 10 there, Anita. This is your family. A few years old. This is your son. I think graduated. This is probably 4 or 5 years ago.
One of my daughters is missing. Jasmine is the one missing.
This is 1, 2, 3, 4. You're right. This is not 5. But I know that's your heartbeat. Is your family.
Yes.
Yeah, and that family was important to you growing up, and it's important to you now.
Yes, for sure. Since I lost my father and my mom, the real part of life really hits you. When I had my kids, then I realized what I put my mom and dad through. But I also understood their soft side and understood how challenging it must be to trust the world with your kids. And it's the same way for me. I'm no different than any person in here that have children. We want to raise our kids up in a community that share in the common good of mankind. And that's how I raised my kids. I gave my kids the structure and the wisdom that I gained through some of the most dynamic individual coaches that has impacted my life. And beyond that, some of the most dynamic individuals, people that people don't even know, that has impacted my life. My life structure is, this village of people that I'm thinking about is the reason why I sit here today. And that village consists of men and women, black and white, you name it, because it truly takes a village to raise a child. And it's going to take a village to raise my children. I've done all that I can. Their mom has done all that she could. And I'm learning now, and I read this last week, God says, release them into my hands. And I'm trying to release my kids off into his hands and allow them to forge their own way. And many of them are doing that right now. I became a grandfather back in April for the first time. So, yeah, the one that you did not see in there, I guess she was off making babies at that time. But yeah, Jasmine, who's the oldest, we have our very first grandbaby. So that's a new experience for me. People oftentimes ask me, what is my greatest accomplishment? I said, I haven't achieved it yet. Because when you have kids, the greatest accomplishment is the things that they're doing. It's not about the things that I've done. It's about seeing them being productive, seeing them happy, and not only that, but living a life that they want to live and that they've earned their way to get to. And family is the foundation of everybody. I mean, think about it. Everyone in here has a family. Everyone in here wants their family to be successful. You are no different than I am, and I am no different than you. How we get there depends on the opportunities that each and every one of us are afforded. Without opportunities, I don't care how smart or how talented you really are. But when you get an opportunity, you get a chance to show that smartness and that talent. And hopefully you're in the right place to where you have a chance to allow that talent to shine. And the walls of limitations are not there holding you back. We all face walls of limitations. We all do. I'm one to try to break through them and knock them down so they don't get rebuilt. Because this world that we all have, it's only one. This air that we all breathe, it's only one. Many other folks may have the opportunity to do other things that others may not, but maximize your moment and your opportunity no matter where you are. Allow your talent to shine at its highest level no matter where you are. And those people that create these walls of limitations, they're going to reap what they sow eventually. But just keep at it. Just keep grinding and keep going. There's a defense out there trying to stop you. Be an offense trying to break through that defense.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest of all time, Emmitt Smith, everybody. Thanks, Emmitt. Great job.